This is the Asus PadFone 2. It's an Android 4.0.4 smartphone with a twist. Asus loves to invent interesting transforming devices such as the Transformer, a tablet that turns into a laptop. The PadFone 2 is one such device. It's a smartphone that turns into a tablet when docked into the pad station. So how does it all work? Well, let's start with the phone. The PadFone is a 4.7-inch Android smartphone with a really clean front, silver trim on the sides, a nice textured plastic back casing, an integrated battery and a micro SIM tray. At the bottom is a special dock connector that, while designed for a proprietary cable, is backwards compatible with micro USB, something that I'm quite pleased with. On its own, it's just an ordinary Android smartphone with a custom Android skin and a 13-megapixel camera with a f2.4 aperture and LED flash on the back. But the magic happens when you pop the PadFone into the slots at the back of what Asus calls the pad station. As soon as the phone is firmly docked into the pad station, it vibrates and comes to life, extending all the PadFone's capabilities onto a 10.1-inch touchscreen, instantly turning the phone into a tablet. Once docked, you will find that you'll have a brand new widget screen, which makes sense in theory since you'll probably be using different apps in tablet mode from the smartphone mode. On its own, the pad station is nothing but a touchscreen display with a built-in battery and a front-facing camera. In fact, in tablet mode, it even relies on the PadFone's rear-facing camera, bringing its full camera capabilities to the tablet. The tablet itself comes with a built-in battery that not only powers the larger display, but also recharges the PadFone itself, turning the pad station into a portable battery pack. In my daily use, I found this combination to work really well, resulting in pretty good battery life. In theory, the PadFone is an ingenious idea. Rather than own a smartphone and a separate tablet, two devices that technically run the same software at a different form factor, why not just own a smartphone that, when needed, can turn into a full tablet? That way you'll only need to deal with one device, manage one set of apps, and have just one SIM card. Did Asus make this dream come true? Well, almost. The first thing to note is that Android wasn't designed to seamlessly switch from smartphone mode to tablet mode just like that. As a result, by default, apart from a few Asus apps, most apps, even the official Google apps, will be forced to automatically shut down when you dock the PadFone in and out of the pad station. You can override that behavior to enjoy the ability to transition from a phone to a full tablet, but you'll need to experiment with the apps one by one. Thankfully, from my testing, popular apps like Google Chrome, YouTube, and Evernote seem to scale well, while Gmail, unfortunately, doesn't. I also found that some apps don't exactly scale well, despite the fact that they don't crash during transition. Polaris Office, for example, which ironically comes pre-installed with the device and allowed to scale by default, simply stretches or shrinks itself when switching, resulting in micro controls when switching to smartphone mode or giant controls when switching to tablet mode. At the end of the day, your experience will rely on how the developers make their apps responsive to the device size. That is something you can't count on developers to care about, sadly, since the PadFone is the only Android device that does this among 1,000 others. Secondly, even after all these years, there still aren't enough tablet-specific apps on Android, and having the PadFone switch from phone to tablet mode easily makes that fact painfully obvious. Apps such as Instagram and Flipboard, for example, show ridiculously huge thumbnails when run on tablet mode, and shows how many Android developers still aren't making proper use of tablet screen real estate. In other words, I personally think the concept Asus tried with the PadFone is brilliant, but we will certainly have a better experience if Google provides official support for apps to switch seamlessly and find ways to force developers to start caring about Android tablets. In summary, if you're sick of managing two different devices and are looking for a phone and a tablet that shares data and resources effectively, and would love to seamlessly continue working on the move from a small screen to a larger display, the PadFone is great for you, provided you are willing to spend some time configuring and choosing apps that support it.